Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. Gatlin. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin. It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
What a fantastic performance from Gatlin, and look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
What's up, everybody? We back with another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building. You know who I'm rolling with. I'm rolling with my boy, the Bearded Wonder. I'm a little tired. Are you a little tired, though? We've been here for 2 days here in Gainesville at Tom Jones.
We dealing with the sun and the allergies.
Allergies for me.
For you.
Sun,
I was
sun
meaning
too.
mostly for you. But the sun, my back's on fire.
The back's on fire?
My back's on fire.
Boy, I was popping Dayquil like it was going out of style, boy. My allergies were killing me today.
Listen,
man.
I was laying down on the infield and people was walking by. You okay? I'm all right. I just need to lay here for a little bit.
Taking a little nap with your eyes open.
What? I needed to borrow a roller and I'm not even running.
You laying down like this? You laying down like this? Check your
My back. Fire.
Oh, man. Let's
man.
get to it, though, man. I mean, I know we're here at Tom Jones, but we're going to get into it, right?
All right.
Let's talk about what happened at Mount SAC today as well.
Mount SAC today, man. Mr. I Am History delivered.
Who we talking about?
Mr. I Am History. You know who Mr. I Am History is, man. That man told us he was going back to his first love, and he did. By the man by the name of Fred Kerley, man, went back to the 400 at Mount SAC today and fought for the win, man, 44-70.
Yeah. Listen, for him to be out of the 400 for at least, last 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Last 3 years for sure, right? I watched the race. I was actually impressed on the fact of him getting around the track and fighting for the win. Because obviously being a short sprinter and going back into long sprints, it's foreign to you. It's foreign. You know what I mean? How you feel about it?
I think it's definitely, this explains a lot to me and this is just my opinion, for his Grand Slam track performance that everybody criticized him for. So if he's in 44-70 shape, that lets me know that he was in a different type of plan working out. He's trying to see how fast he can run with strength. And 10-2 was 10-2, 10-3 was probably around that parameter. Meaning Fred hasn't started speed work yet. Does he stay at the 400? I don't know. But this should be scary for a lot of people because you ain't know how the boogeyman gonna come. When the boogeyman go?
So we know that he had a couple of viral sound bites that came from the podcast, The Pivot. Shout out to The Pivot.
Shout out to The Pivot.
And they really aged. At first, do you feel like they age well, or do they age kind of like, because him and Noah kind of had a banter back and forth after that?
They did. Noah, to say it today, I mean, we ain't gonna get too much into today because we on Fred. He ran the 400 today also. He said he ain't built like me. They both ran the 400 on the same exact day, and that clip aged well. 44-70 to 45-3 is very different. I would definitely say
45-8.
45-8?
Yes.
I thought it was 45-3. My eyes, I was far.
I know.
I was far.
You just saw the little hump.
Yeah, I did. It was 45-8, which isn't a bad run for Noah. I don't want anybody to get that
I would have paid for a 45-8 when I was running.
It was not a bad run for Noah. I think it's a good run based on his 200. But that clip aged very well because 44-70, Fred is a lot more seasoned in that event. He knows how to run it. He knows how to do it. But really good run. I like the banter back and forth, but I mean, it goes to show they're not the same. Not on that level. 100 and 200, they're probably fairly close. Not more 100, not the 200, because Noah is faster than Fred and the 200, but both of them are working on things this type of year, but that clip aged well for Fred because now I'm pretty sure he'll run that clip and then run like a Noah clip behind it. Like, so I like the back and forth though, because this makes it all good for when they actually meet up.
Also in Mount SAC, the boys in the 100 starting to get heated up now. Arkansas, Jordan Anthony.
Oh, I remember him, Michael Jackson on.
Yep. Michael Jackson arms, right? He drops a sub 10. Legal win, sub 10, 998.
Oh, that's the fourth fastest time in the world this year.
That is right now. And what do you think about, because we've had a lot of sub 10s, because we also had a J. Is it a J from Auburn?
I think it's a Jai. But let me mess up people's names because they used to me chopping them up. They used to me, not on purpose though. I think it's a Jai, but I think that's what it is.
Okay, all right, we'll go with a Jai from Auburn.
Yes.
He ran here at Tom Jones, and he dropped the second fastest time in the world right now, which he ran 996, right?
I saw that.
So here's my point. Let's rewind and flash back to, I think, 2023 NCAAs, and you had almost complete fields of 100-meter guys almost run sub 10. Is that something that you think that we're going to see this season? Because these guys are coming out early in the outdoor season and already starting to drop these sub 10s early on.
I definitely think we definitely going to see we're going to get to that part where we have a whole national field of 9 seconds in collegiate. But I think it's even heating up in the SEC because both of those are SEC schools, Arkansas and Auburn. Those boys got to lock horns.
Conference.
Yeah, they going to lock
in
up.
about a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they going to lock up. They going to lock up.
So that's something we got to stay tuned to.
We definitely got to stay tuned to.
Okay, all right. Let's jump back over. Let's go down to Jamaica right now. Right, one of my favorite places to be. We have the Velocity Fest. And
they got which one this is? Because this is 17, 18, 28, 29, because they got a lot of Velocity Fest. It don't matter. Anyway, go ahead. Velocity Fest.
17, okay?
That's crazy.
Your girl officially has opened up her season. Shelly Ann Frazier, Mommy Rocket, opened up with a 1094. Plus three wind, but a 1094. I love her race. Watching it, how she unfolded. Great start. Worked hard. Finished the race strong. What do you think?
Based on her giving her announcement on this, but we haven't officially heard it from her, but we heard it from a representative that this is her last season. She's a seasoned runner. So people say 3-point win, and then she ran 10-9. She was running for the W in my head. Experienced runners, I always give them a cushion because they know how to get the job done. So her 1093 was impressive to me. I give a hell what the win was. You know what I'm saying? Because this is somebody who we know is a seasoned vet who knows how to get the job done. Not only with times, but she also knows how to win. And everybody know World Championships is Shelly's thing. Shelly's thing.
That's true. She can run 100 races before championships or one race before championships, and she's going to be ready for that championship.
She's going to be on that podium. So, yes, see.
So now we're talking about 100 meters for the females. Let's talk about what has happened at Tom Jones in the women's 100 meters.
Man, first of all, I like to say shout out to Joel Brown out of Ohio State. Amazing coach. Amazing coach. A Navy Battle is coached by Coach Joel Brown. I definitely want to give him his flowers. I give it to him on the phone all the time when we speak. But that man is doing a hell of a job. Hell of a job with the 1098 world lead for a Navy Battle. A Navy Battle is a awesome athlete. I think people forgot that this is a young lady that ran 21 while she was in college. And I think she's getting back her confidence and she's getting back the form and things she wants to do. So I'm very happy for her.
I think this is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first time she's ever ran sub 11 as well.
This is. I mean, she could have did it a long time ago based on her talent, but it just takes some time, you know, her finding herself, her feeling confident and what she's doing and where she wants to be. And I think she's there now. She's grown as a professional athlete. You know, the first couple of years were rough. That transition is so tough. We've heard a lot of our guests talk about how tough it is, but I think now she's coming into her own. She's letting the world know that she's here.
Also, getting a world lead, especially this early in the season, gives you so much confidence, bro. You know what I mean? Like, to know that right now you have ran the fastest time this year in the world, it makes you feel like, all right, I'm ready for the season. I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to go. And where she's been a 200-meter specialist, now she can feel like I got a little more wiggle room in the 100 now. I can be able to drop down a little bit, have some confidence. And she looked great in the 4x1 today too.
She did. She did. She definitely did. I think that warmed up her legs for that 100-meter run. Her and, Mackenzie Long, I think, got second at 11:02. So I think it was great runs for both of them. Mackenzie Long is fresh out. So, she's finding herself early. That could be a really good thing.
I always love to give grace to young athletes who go from that collegiate realm and have their rookie season as a professional because it's hard. It's almost in reverse. Mm-hmm. It's almost flipped because in college, you're doing way more running, way more competition, and kind of, less practice, right? Now, as a professional athlete, you're doing way more practice, and then competition, you have to be on point. So for her to open up with 11:0 at a meet like Tom Jones, I feel like if she comes out, she stays healthy, she could be able to drop that time where she was before when she was in college and be able to go even further.
But let's remember too, Mackenzie Long is a 200-meter specialist. So that's why it's more impressive for her to open up with 11:02 than anything else.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, talking to her earlier today, she said that she's also going to open up next week in her 200. So that's going to be something we're going to be looking out for too.
Yeah, definitely.
So one of our favorites, Juju, Julien Alfred.
Yeah.
This girl this season thus far has been super impressive. From the 4x4s she ran to the 400.
300.
I'm getting to that. Down to the 300 that she ran in Miramar about a week ago. Now she opened up with her 200 here at Tom Jones, where she ran the world lead and only 2 100s off of her personal best. She ran 21:88, and she made it look so easy. What do you feel about that?
I feel like how I felt about Nassar. She's letting the podiums and her event know that I am coming. Be ready. Be ready. If not, you will fold. You will fold. She's letting everybody know, putting them on notice. So everybody, it echoed throughout the track and field atmosphere, throughout all the blogs and everything. It was out there. You can't hide from it. Her competitors saw what she did. She worked that curve, and her and Coach Flo, they're working on things to where she ran a lot more over distance things this year. And it's proved to pay off. She's trying to be a double champion in the 1 and the 2. And what's going to be so good about that is she'll be the first one in her country to do so. Trying to be history 2 times over.
Yeah. I love what Coach Flo is putting together for her. And he's doing it for Dinasha Smith and Rashidat. They're working up volume and they're coming down. And using the professional ranks, you do a lot of volume and you shroud it in secret. You do it in practice, right? And then you start coming down and then you go into your respectable discipline, right, of a 200 or a 100. But watching someone like Julien Alfred and Dinasha Smith run 400s, run 300s, run 4x4s, not just one time, a season, but like multiple times within that same season, you can see the progression, you can see the strength, and you see the speed start to come into effect now too. I think it's genius of what he's doing, right? And for short sprinters, it's almost like a nightmare because you're like, yo, I am a 100-meter runner. Like, why am I running these 400s and 300s out in public in front of everybody? But the strength that he puts on both of them, you could see that it's going to pay off later on this season, especially with Dina Asher running 52 today and Julien running just yesterday a 21 in the 200.
The sub 22 is scary. And it's not that sub 22 is scary, period. But sub 22 is scary in April. Scary. And I think that's why it's a dangerous move. Now, for our gold medalist who's in the Grand Slam track, she's doing the same thing. She's running 4s and 2s. You know what I mean? But I must say, at this point, I'm impressed with Gabby's 400, but she did a Grand Slam track. But I'm more impressed with Julien Alfred's 21 here. So that's what I said about that.
Listen, I'm super impressed for the simple fact because I sat there and watched her run, come off the turn, and nothing in my mind indicated that it was going to be 21. I was going to say 22 mid, maybe 22.5, 22.3, something like that. But when the clock stopped at 21.8, I was like, oh, okay, this is what we're dealing with right now. And she did it with so much strength. It wasn't necessarily like frequency. You could just see the power in her run. It was just almost like a bounce to it. Bow, bow, bow. So, if she has a lot of speed endurance and then she starts to come down to speed and she starts to start cycling more and spinning those wheels, I'm kind of excited and also scared to see exactly what it would look like for her to run her 100 meters.
Just tell me that in her 100, when she opens it up, even if, no matter where she opens it up, she's going to be a hard feat to run down. You're going to have to be somebody that could either start in the front of Julien to beat her. You're not going to be somebody that'll reel her back. Being that her PB is 10.7, you won't reel her back. If she ran 21.8 now and she jumps out in 100, this is telling us that she is going to have superior top end, like people who we know in the Sharikas and the Elaines and the Shikaris. These are those type of top end runners. So we'll see.
I mean, the only way I can think you really could combat that is if you have a rocket start. I mean, because you get out with someone like a Julien and she's able to produce those kind of times and she has that strength also. That's a tall order, dog. That's a hard race right there to win.
The only one who I feel like can get out and get away from her and possibly hold her off is Mommy Rocket.
So, thank you. I was about to get to that. I'm glad you said that.
That's the only person I feel could do it.
I threw it off the backboard for you,
yeah,
right?
That's the only one I feel could do it.
I threw it off the backboard for you because now what I would love to see at World Championships in Japan this year is a legend like Julien, who has been the GOAT in the 100 meters and the short sprints, and the reigning Olympic champion who has come into the world of professional sprinting, and a clash between those to see exactly what that looks like.
But they say when your idols become your rivals. Idols become your rivals. Stay tuned. I'm tuned in, man. I got my popcorn.
So since we're talking about 200s as well, let's jump over to the men's 200. Here at Tom Jones, we had a world lead. We had 19.99 by Charamba from Zimbabwe.
That kid's special. That kid's special. That kid, he's the indoor NCAA champion. That kid's special. Listen, you watch him come off the curve and you just watch him work.
Yeah.
Work. Yeah, and he's a bigger guy. I was very impressed with his running. But world lead, man, we gonna see what he does for Zimbabwe if he could hold this type of running after NCAAs. It's definitely going to be hard because he'll have to peak again. He knows once you leave this realm of NCAA, you'll be running against the likes of the DeGrasses, the Noahs, the Joseph Favale, who opened up his 200 today in 2007, but wasn't too shabby. Wasn't too shabby. Leave no doubt. Shout out to Joe Fan. But you know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, he's going to have to be ready for that type of stage. But the one thing that he's been running with Joe Fan, he opened up. This is the start. With DeGrasse, he opened up last 2 weeks ago. 2032 is the start. You can't even really look at that with DeGrasse because championship time, he is a championship runner. Thanks. You know what I mean? And then we can't forget Noah, the reigning world champion. What type of shape he'll be in after running 45.8 today, which is a PB for him, I think. His 200 would definitely be strong. Me thinking he's sub 46.
I agree. I didn't realize that Charamba was that tall, that big. Never really seen him in person like that. And sitting in the stands and watching him, I was like, who's this grown man running with these boys? He came off that turn. He was just like all shoulders and like, whop.
Yeah, he was just walking, boy. That boy walking on water.
I love to see it because we've talked about it before, like the emergence of, Africa really kind of showing their talent off. And Africa for decades has been known for producing distance runners, right? And now you're seeing a lot more sprinters. And now you're seeing elite sprinters who are stepping into the game. And now you can gamble because it ain't just America and Jamaica. Now you're going to say, whoa, hold on now. The motherland's in the building.
Well, he got a plug. And Ken Harden, down there at Auburn, I think he's from Zimbabwe. So, and let's not forget, in the race of 2008 Usain Bolt, Brian Zingay was coached by Ken Harden, who was in the final of the 200 meters. And Brian Zingay is like my height. You know what I mean? Ken's a really good coach. Shout out to Ken at Auburn. You know what I mean? But we know how Nkrumah got here. Ken, we know you brought him in.
So we're going to jump over to the women's 100-meter hurdles. Somebody on that watch list had a breakout session here at Tom Jones, man. And I say session because it wasn't just one race. They went into the prelims, set a world lead, and they came back in the finals and commanded the race. Grace Starks.
And she's definitely on my watch list. You know what I mean? I've talked to her coach, and I've just watched her in the last year, and just watched her, and I was like, she's going to be one of those girls to go and try to put it together because she's not happy with where she is. She's doing well, but she's not happy. It's not enough. So at the end of the day, that's why I picked her on my RSG list. She's going to be one of them. To run 12.5s and one meet is amazing. But she did it against a real solidified field. Masai was in that race. You know what I mean? She ran a good race, but she lost to Grace. I think Masai bounces back from this, of course, but I think every time she races Grace now, Grace is going to be like, I feel like I can beat you. We're going to go back and forth. So now it's just up to Masai to go back and solidify her dominance like she did indoor.
This is why the women's 100-meter hurdles is one of my favorite events to watch. Not for the simple fact because I love hurdles, but just the high level of competition. You watch Grace, and clearly Grace has taken a couple L's before, right? And now she's coming into her zone and saying, you know what? I can do this, right? And Masai has gotten W's. Now, she took an L today, but we know Masai. Masai's a caliber athlete who holds that quality of being a real champion, right? Not just someone who says, hey, I just won the Olympics one time, lucky me, right? She has shown that she can be consistent with what she does. So realizing that, I feel like Masai's going to leave Gainesville and she's going to look at that race, her and a coach, and they're going to break down exactly where the loss was and how to fix that. And then Masai's going to come back. We're still early in the season.
Very early.
We're still early in the season.
Very early.
A 12.5, a 12.6, not shabby at all, right?
No.
So I think that's something that you're really going to have to really focus on and not say, hey, we're going to hang the hat on this person because they dominating right now. Because we know in the women's 100-meter hurdles, it can shift real quick. Somebody tomorrow can drop a 12.4, and now here we are. Everybody running 12.4s, then they're going to start running 12.3s, and then now the world record is in sight once again.
Once again. You are correct, my friend.
We also going to jump over to the hurdles in the 110s. How'd you feel about the 110s today as well?
The young man, Trent Cunningham. He got the W today over world champion, Olympic champion, Grant Holloway. It's early. Trey Cunningham is coming along really well, right? You know what I mean? It was a good victory for him. World lead 1309, legal. You know what I mean? The Olympic champion was right behind him. But I think you need to wake up like this early. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you are the guy, you get comfortable. I'm not saying Grant is comfortable, but I'm saying if he won with 13-1 today and nobody really showed up to kind of get him, he might be too comfortable and might not be able to duplicate the world championships. But now he know, as he even said in that interview, he said he has a target on his back. But I feel like when he comes back, it's going to be hell to pay.
100%. And Grant is at that point of his career where it's about winning when it counts the most. We know that you can dominate. We've seen how he dominates. We've seen the times that he can run. We know because he has the hardware. Does it sting a little bit because, you didn't win at home? Yes, it does. But those same people that you out there beating, they're watching your videos. They're studying your technique. They're understanding your race pattern. They're going to practice with the intent of beating you in those kind of races. And having small talks with Trey today, he seemed very calm before the race. He was having little light jokes and being like, the hardest thing is putting this uniform on today. And then he went out there and almost PR'd with a 13:09, right? And then came back and said, see, that was the hardest thing today was putting the uniform on. He's becoming more confident in his execution. I think for someone like Grant, it's time to turn the dial up a little bit. We know you have the reservoir of talent. Show these boys what you're made of. Because clearly 13-0, in some situations, you're going to have some competition. But we've seen you run 12-8. That's what I want to see. I'm a little bit biased, and I'm also eager to see a world record from Grant Holloway.
I think the closer he gets to the world record and everybody's focusing more on what he's doing, he's breeding another breed of hurdlers to come and get him. And they're hungry. They're hungry. They're coming. So I think with Grant doing what he's done, I think the other hurdles will step their game up. So I think we probably see maybe about 6 or 7 guys sub-13 this year. I think that's what we see this year.
I think so. I think you're right. I think that he's going to help resurrect where the hurdles were once in that golden era of the Allen Johnsons, Lou Zhangs, the David Olivers, the Robles, the Terrence Tramels, those guys out there who was a stacked field. We see it in the women's hurdles now, but now I think Grant is going to open up that door where these guys are going to work a little harder. They're going to want to run better than 13-2. They're going to want to run better than it's a 13-1. They want to run faster, and they're going to step up to the plate to handle that.
And the reason why we reference Grant is because, man, his win-loss column, his loss column is very small on the professional level. Yeah, this was a loss today, but he don't have many L's and on the professional side at all. He don't have a lot of L's in the collegiate side. I don't think he got a lot of L's in the high school side. So that's why we reference him, man. He's an amazing athlete.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, it's news when he doesn't win because we're so used to watching him win constantly, right?
100%.
I think, and help me out with this, there is a fact that just came out with Simbine, who has the world lead in the 100 meters. He ran 9:90. They say he's ran sub-10 11 years in a row. Is this true?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy work, bro. Over a decade of just straight sub-10s.
That's why they call him Mr. Consistency. He's consistently in every final, consistently almost in medal contention. But he won the bronze in indoor worlds this year, something that he doesn't really compete in a lot. Indoor runs, he doesn't. And I think this will help him transition to outdoor. I think him and his coach has a plan to say, we are going to get on this by hell or by high water, we're going to get on top of this podium.
I would love to know what their training cycle's like. Because we always see Simbine runs a world lead usually a month before the Olympics or World Championships, and then not able to get onto that podium that month after, right? I'd love to know if they tweaked a little bit the training cycle and said, hey, you know what? Let's back off just a little bit and let's produce that world lead a month later. Is that possible as a coach? Could you see that happening?
Yeah, I think his season is so difficult because where he is in the world. Their summertime is doggone, December, January or something like that. So the kind of clock that we're on in this time where everybody starts training in the fall and November, they're already ramped up. That's why he can run as fast as he can early in the season. Now, the question is, how long could he possibly hold that, being that the World Championships is that late? Can he run faster than 990? Yes, he's done it a few times. What is it going to take for Zimbini to make the podium? Well, it has to be 9.7, because it looked like that's where the 100 is starting to end up again. We're going to start to see a lot of our runners won first and second place under 980. And if that's going to be the case, he has to be training for 9.7 low. Meaning top 5 is in danger again this year. I think it's in danger for real this year. I think you may bump down. You may bump down this year.
You're right. We've been saying for almost 4 years straight.
Yeah, hey.
But it might be a thing. It may be a thing.
I think so. With everybody running so fast, I think you might get bumped down today.
Well,
this year.
Well, speaking of the 100 here at Tom Jones for the guys went off as well today. And another guy on the RSG watch list, Courtney Lindsay, took the victory with a sub 10. He ran 9.7. He ran 9.97. Man, if he ran 9.7, that'd have been crazy.
I'd have been like, yeah, just give him the medal. Nah, but he definitely is, man. I picked him to be on my RSG list, man. Like I said, man, he got a taste last year of what greatness was early with all those 19s. And then I think, his whole experience of the Olympics kind of fueled that fire. He has a great coach behind him. And he's like, yeah, Dennis, he gonna be like, yeah, you got that little tasty taste.
Little taste, baby.
Just a little tasty taste. You like that, huh? So now I feel like he's at the point where he's like, all right, I know what I got to do. I got a little bit of it last year. I know what I got to do for it to happen this year. You know what I mean? This is the fastest he's ever opened up. And that's one of the reasons why I picked him, man. He's a silent killer. He doesn't talk much. He's not on social media much, but he will kill you. He will kill you.
What about anybody else in that field that you see?
Christian Miller, man. Shout out to Christian Miller, man. The high schooler.
C. Millie.
C. Millie.
Them training montages paid off, bro.
Man, the training montages, him putting God first. You know what I mean? And everybody, most people put God first, but he's very open about putting God first. I want to applaud him, man. I see him all the time. He always embraces me. Yeah, very good opener. His fastest opener as a year. He's showing that, hey, it's not a fluke. It's not a fluke. I am here. I am here. Y'all gonna have to deal with me. High school or no high school, y'all gonna have to deal with me. And he showed up today and he showed out. So shout out to Christian Miller. 10:02. Ain't no slump. I'd love to see where he runs next, or if he could put his schedule out, because I'm watching.
Don't put no schedule out, C. Millie. Don't do that. Just show up like a ghost in the night. And just have them all like, ooh, here he come. The second coming.
Yeah, man.
But what'd you think about the relays as well? Because Tom Jones is known to put out some relays. Team USA comes and they usually kind of work their athletes and get their relay pool kind of going. What'd you see today? What'd you think of those combinations, and what'd you think about the turnout of the relays?
I like the combination of the women. I don't think they have to worry too much about the women. You know what I mean? The women, they triple gold medalists through the last 3 championships. I like to see what the men did. You know what I mean? The USA men did very well. You know what I mean? All the teams got to stick around.
So we had, for USA Blue, we had, who were the victors? You had Coleman, you had PJ Austin, second leg, you had Arian Knighton, third leg, and you had Noah Lyles, anchor. They ran 37.90.
Listen, Kristen Coleman is going to have to be number 1 on everybody's list every time, man. He devoured that doggone first leg. Like, he ran the hell out of that. But I was most impressed on that really with PJ Austin. He held his own against Kenny Bernard. Kenny Bernard was on that second leg, but PJ Austin did not relent. You know what I mean? He held his own. Once he passed it to Arian, Kyrie King ran an amazing third leg that brought them back a little bit closer. You know what I mean? I was impressed with Kyrie King. And then Noah Lyles is going to be Noah Lyles.
Yeah.
He's going to do what he does. I wasn't impressed. I was more expectant that would happen.
I like Kyrie's energy. Always have, because he always extra, right? But it's like that extra of like, nah, you ain't gonna beat me on this third leg.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to run up out your skin to beat me on this third leg. And you see him coming into his own and owning that curve, right? Because obviously Arian ran an amazing turn, a couple weeks ago, right? So that was a battle, but Kyrie didn't lay down.
Nope. But I mean, Kyrie been running that leg all last year with all their winnings and their runnings, with how they built the relay last year at World Relays and such. He was the third leg. He is that guy. He's letting them know, like, hey, if I'm not in the mix, I could be in the mix for this. But I'm pretty sure he wants to be an individual. But he's getting the job done on that third leg.
I do. I mean, everybody wants to be individual, but you also know you have a calling. When it comes to relays, you know where you fit.
Yeah.
And he's comfortable with that third leg. And I think that's in Team USA, when you're in a relay pool, of course you want to be versatile. You want to be able to say, put me anywhere, coach, I can get it done. But you know where you specialize at. And obviously we know Coleman specialized on the front side. Someone like Kyrie is trying to stake claim for that third leg, right? So you don't know what the combination is going to be going into World Championships, but it seems like everyone is jockeying for position. They getting ready.
Listen, I think the USA 4x1 is one of the most difficult things to navigate through for the 4x1. Reason being, you guys have the most talent, always have the most talent, but then you have to wait to see who get to the relay pool after USA's. So now, if you had somebody run 37.60 who helped you early in the season do that, coming to the end of the season, if they don't make the finals of the 100 or anything like that, could they be pooled? Or you don't even know. I don't even know how that works. You know what I mean? But
so what happens is, I think Team USA has herself in a conundrum because you do have so much talent, right? But we give ourselves too much options. And why I say that is because back early in the day, let's just say the Mo Green time area, right? Early 2000s. It was, if you were top 3 in the 100 meters, those top 3 are already automatically in the relay pool. Now, the pivot guy is the fourth leg. And usually they're still going to come out the 100. So what now is, it kind of stretched into, we're going to add some 200 meter guys in. And then now it also stretched into the fact of, we can add anybody we want in. So now your relay pool consists of options from the 100, the 200. If they want to do the 400, anybody that competed at nationals can be part of the relay. So that I think to be able to do what the world is doing right now and why we are getting left behind is you create a very select group of individuals to be able to handle that job and be able to be accountable for that job. Because when you do a lot of too much plug and play, that person who's in there is going to feel like, well, I'm disposable. So why should I work so hard? And then you're going to take me off the relay. But if you anoint somebody for that position who is responsible and capable of getting the job done, and you hold them accountable, then that person's going to say, well, all right, cool. I got to step up to the plate and get this done because clearly I'm the one that's qualified for the position. So it's too many variables, I feel. They need to be able to make a select, almost like a SEAL Team 6 kind of thing, you know?
Yeah, the only reason that might not work for y'all is because, you know what I mean, like when you watch something like 2012, Allison was pulled for the relay, but she ran the 400, but she also, I don't think she ran the 200 that year. She ran only the 400 and the 4x1. You know what I mean? So I think being in that, and you got a world record out of that, they'll be like, this is why we got to pool everybody, because that's the outlier. You know what I mean? Everybody else, Bianca Knight, she wasn't a finalist in the 100 meters, but she owned that third leg. So that goes to say that's why it's so difficult. It's because you have that outlier, somebody who didn't make the finals in the Olympics, and then somebody who runs the 400, but they go out there and break the world record.
Yeah, I can see that. The world record ain't getting broke every championship. So
That's true. It's true.
That was an anomaly in a way, right? But since we're talking about the women's, what do you think about the relay here at Tom Jones for the women? The victors was Jaden Mays, Kennedy Blackman, Anavia Battle, and Brittany Brown.
Jaden Mays, this is, I think, her professional debut. I think this is the first time she ran since she's out of college now. So she did really good on the first leg, but Melissa did good too. You know what I mean? I was more impressed. You had 2 top-end runners on that doggone third leg, man. Anavia Battle and Tamari Davis.
Ooh.
They both flew. But coming down to the last leg, her professional debut was a 4x1. I don't know where she's at in her training, but she looked really strong. And Brittany Brown, Athlos winner, 200 meters. Listen, she looked really good, man. Head in the air and all, she was rolling. I'm excited to watch her this year, but to the Victor team, man, that team is really, really, really solid. Team 2 was solid too, but, you know, Brittany Brown just was a lot stronger than the Miss
Kayla White.
Yeah, on the last leg.
Yeah. So, season's going to unroll. We're going to see what happens, man. I mean.
It's early.
It's early.
It's early.
But it's exciting to see these relays, right? It's exciting to see what happens at Mount SAC. Exciting to see what happens at Tom Jones. It's exciting to see these athletes kind of come out from an indoor season or just not even have an indoor and just showing their face for the first time and seeing how they kind of unfold a little bit, right?
100%.
So within the next couple of weeks, we're going to forget about what they ran or if they didn't run well today. And we're going to say, man, where they at today?
Man, look, a lot of those people who in those relays, when they go back and watch the film, they're going to get right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Some of them going to like what they see. Some people going to like what they see. But the people who don't like what they see, they're going to be like, you know what? Hey, coach, listen, I ain't like that. This is what we got to do. I'm going to come every day and give you 100%, and this is how we going to get it done. So I like that it's early because now when we see a few of them open up their season, that gives them a little bit more fire to go back into the lab and do what they need to do.
For sure. For sure. That's all we got for today, man. Get ready for the next week.
Yeah, get ready for the next week. It's exciting. I got my pork point. Hey, Grand Slam track, May 2nd, coming up. Miami. Yeah, get your salsa ready. Get your salsa ready.
With that being said, man, we done. Take us out.
Well, we thank you guys for joining us. Join us on Discord, man. Remember, Discord on Sundays at 8 o'clock or 8:30 sometimes. We'll put it out, man. When we put it out on our pages, y'all join us for some conversations, Q&As, and everything else. So we thank you guys for watching. But until next time on our show, ready, set, go!